welcome. How have you all been? Hope the summers are not as bad and good movies are keeping you cool in these times. This is Now Showing, a show that has given you the best of cinema for the past 15 years. We have an inspiring episode today with a few lessons to be learned and a few good movies to be watched. I'm Atika Farooqui. Let's start with a sneak peek into what's coming up. Jersey is a rousing emotional drama that puts Shahid's immaculate performance in the center stage, but can be underwhelming in parts. Ajay Devgn and Rakul Preet Singh speak to me about Runway 34, a thriller set in a cockpit that attempts to boost up the technical finesse of Indian films. And actor Ayushmann Khurrana takes a trip down memory lane as he completes 10 years at the movies. Let's talk about this week's theatrical release, Jersey. Jersey is a remake of 2019 film of the same name, starring Nani. It tracks the life of a middle-class family in Chandigarh, where the man of the house is outstandingly, exceptionally good at cricket. Yet, he is unemployed and has no means to pay that electricity bill, fix the leaking roof and get a prized Indian team jersey worth only Rs 500 to his 11-year-old son, who is himself an aspiring cricketer. The film is full of sweet, delicious, emotional moments, from the courtship days between Arjun Talwar, played by Shahid Kapoor, and Vidya Rao, played by Mrunal, Thakur, to the brilliance on the cricket field by Shahid, the soft moments and the father-son-like relationship between the coach, played by real-life father Pankaj Kapur and Shahid Kapoor, and the on-screen father-son relationship between the protagonist and his 11-year-old son Kittu, played by Ronit Kamra. Every aspect is emotionally rousing, worthy of praise. From the world set in Chandigarh, the middle-class world, the winters, the life in small houses, moral values, limited ambitions, to unreal expectations from oneself. The remake, directed by Gautam Tinamuri again, is indeed an enjoyable watch. Shahid Kapoor totally takes the cake here. The void in his eyes, the beaten body language, the right postures and field action by a cricketer is all bang on. One can see the detail and the work that has gone into the preparation. There is an arch between the couple, from lovebirds who know no bounds to their traditionally ill-matched love, to a place where they struggle to meet ends meet. The love between them remains constant though. A few scenes between them are heart-touching and realistic. The graph of a boy, majestic on the ground and ill-fated in real life as a husband, comes very close to making you shed that tear. A moment of tearful relief where Arjun gets selected even at an unimaginable age for the sport, as he vents out those repressed feelings against the noise of a running train, gives goosebumps. Music by Sachet Tandon and Parampara are especially very soothing and emotionally evocative. They blend into the story and take it forward every time. There are a few underwhelming moments in the film though, such as revealing the outcome of the story right in the beginning, the climax that came a bit late after a prolonged stretch in the screenplay, the fact that the cricketer had a reason to give it all up and retire to a life of mediocrity was hidden all along. Had they given the viewers a whiff of it, the connect with his pathos would have been much stronger. Also, the wife, who was once a fangirl herself and fought with her father to retain his identity after marriage as a cricketer, is an avid opponent to his joining back the game. No reasons told why. Jersey is a well-performed emotional drama that can be underwhelming in parts. Yet, it's a satisfying watch. Moving on, Ajay Devgn's first film as a producer was Raju Chacha, made on a budget of 32 crores many years back. He is also a passionate director with films like Shivai and You, Me or Hum. And now he dons all the three hats for Runway 34, a film about a pilot who becomes the subject of an inquiry in the wake of an emergency landing. Inspired by a true event, it also has Amitabh Bachchan. I speak to Ajay Devgn and Rakul Preet about this film that's surely very different from the rest. Hi, Captain. It's an honor to fly with you.
Yes.
Okay, that's how the trailer starts.
Yes.
Are you generally in time for the flights? या आप late पहुँचते हैं?
Always
I'm
before
on time, before time.
Yeah.
I'm all, yeah. I have an OCD of time in general.
Wow.
So,
Mr. Bachchan.
Yeah, all of us.
yeah, actually all of
वक्त
us.
से हम पहले ही पहुंच जाते हैं क्योंकि मुझे नहीं लगता कि हमको हक है किसी और का वक्त खराब करने का।
हाँ,
तो
nice.
मुझे लगता है कि अगर आपने किसी को अपना टाइम दिया है तो उनका टाइम ज़ाया नहीं करें और वक्त से पहले पहुंचें।
Of course. And every girl growing up has had a crush on a man in uniform. Have you had that ever?
I grew up in a house with my dad in uniform. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's an army officer. So I've always seen a lot of men in army, in uniform around me. So I used to always have this one thing that, you know, when you're a kid, you've grown up in cantonments. I used to say ki, I don't know how I can make civilian friends.
True.
You know, when you're 7-8-year-old, वो civilian है यार, you know, and that's how the terminology is in cantonments. And I used to think I can never get married to a civilian. I can never get like, when you're kids, you're talking to your classmates. And then obviously when you grow out and you see the world and, you know, grow up and see the world, then, you know.
What is your memorable turbulence story?
One time, I was in this ATR craft and there was heavy turbulence. It was rainy and almost dropped about 3,000 feet. So everyone in the flight was praying.
Panicking,
Everyone was praying. I myself was praying कि मतलब आज land करा दो. I will never sit in an ATR again.
Okay, and how about you?
नहीं, मेरी कोई ऐसी कोई बड़ी टर्बुलेंस स्टोरी नहीं है।
story
टर्बुलेंसेस काफ़ी हुए हैं, बट कभी ऐसी सिचुएशन नहीं आई कि जहाँ पैनिक हुआ।
You are a producer on this film. Any film that has a cockpit, a plane, a crash, or a emergency landing, or this world of an aircraft has to be a very lofty project. The last I watched a film like that was Sully. That was directed by Clint Eastwood with an actor like Tom Hanks, and the level on which it was mounted was huge. What was the budget like?
Budget was very sensible.
Yeah?
It's not a very expensive film. अगर आप ऐसा सब्जेक्ट चुनते हैं तो फिर जो उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट होती है वो ज़रूर पूरी करते हैं। तो उसका एक बजट होता है, बट इफ़ यू प्लान थिंग्स प्रॉपरली एंड यू ऑर्गेनाइज्ड तो फिर यू कैन कंट्रोल अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स। हमारे यहाँ काफ़ी इंटेलिजेंट टेक्नीशियंस हैं, वी हैव सम वेरी गुड ब्रेन्स। आज हम कम्पीट कर रहे हैं हॉलीवुड के साथ बिकॉज लोगों का एक्सपोजर हॉलीवुड से भी बहुत हो गया है, बट उनका बजट अगर 1000 करोड़ होता है तो हमारा 100 करोड़ होता है, एंड उस दायरे में रह के हम वो लेवल तक पहुंचने की कोशिश करते हैं। आई थिंक दैट इज कमेंडेबल। सो अगर आप सेंसिबली प्लान करें अपनी फिल्म को तो फिर आप बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं। इट्स अ डिसेंट, इट्स नॉट आउट ऑफ द दिस थिंग लिमिट बजट।
You know, you're a very spontaneous actor. और आपने कई जगह बोला भी है, he says that I don't get into the backstory of a character, and I don't get into the method acting style of the genre जो था। इसके लिए क्या आपने mental level पे कोई बैक स्टोरी क्रिएट की या कुछ इस तरह का?
नहीं जी नहीं, बेसिकली द फिल्म इज बेस्ड ऑन ट्रू इवेंट्स।
ऑफ कोर्स।
सो
2015 में दोहा कोचीन के एक फ्लाइट में ऐसा हुआ
बट हमने उन कैरेक्टर्स की बैक स्टोरी कभी नहीं पिकअप की फिल्म में, ना उनकी पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में। हमने अपनी 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 पर्सनल लाइफ क्रिएट की है, उनकी नहीं की है। तो वट एवर मेंटली व्हाट आई हैड टू प्रिपेयर, आई प्रिपेयर्ड एज अ डायरेक्टर फॉर द एक्टर। कि कहानी के हिसाब से जो होना चाहिए था, एंड फॉर द कैरेक्टर आई थिंक वी बोथ, बिकॉज वी बोथ वर पायलट्स इन द फिल्म, सो उसका जो एक हाउ डू यू ऑपरेट अ प्लेन एंड सिचुएशन में क्या टर्म्स होते हैं और कैसे बिहेवियर होता है, साइकोलॉजिकली आप क्या सोचते हैं। आई थिंक वो जो 5-6 दिन की ट्रेनिंग हमने कैप्टन के साथ पूरा वर्कआउट किया, सो दैट वाज मोर ऑफ अ I would say homework for us as actors. जैसे कई जगह पे आप देखेंगे कि अगर टेक्निकली ओरिजिनली अगर एक एयरक्राफ्ट में एक सिग्नल आ रहा है या रेड लाइट जल रही है या सिग्नल आ रहा है तो उसमें साउंड नहीं होती, बट हमको एक हल्की सी सिनेमैटिक लिबर्टी की वजह से एक हल्की सी साउंड देनी पड़ती है कि ऑडियंस को रजिस्टर हो कि वो
बटन
वो एक
say red is blinking or whatever.
रेड इज ब्लिंकिंग। तो वो छोटी मोटी कोई 2-4 चीज़ें होंगी, उसके अलावा वी हैव केप्ट इट कम्प्लीटली ऑथेंटिक। जब आप देखेंगे तो अगर कोई कैप्टन देखेगा कि इस प्लेन की, क्योंकि आपको पता चल जाता है कि प्लेन फिल्म में आप देखेंगे कि किस सिचुएशन के थ्रू किस हाइट पे जा रहा है, फ्यूल कितना है, ये सब आपको पता चलता है और वही रीडिंग्स आपको आपके ये मॉनिटर्स पे भी मिलेंगी. सो वी हैव ट्राइड टू बी दैट ऑथेंटिक. we've had all the real equipment. We have fed in the real situations in the equipment, and we have created the real turbulence.
How was it directing it? I see you directed You, Me or Hum.
Shivai.
You directed Shivai, and now this is your third directorial, right? How was it direct? It's a very, it seems like a
Tough film.
everything had to be on the paper before you bring it up.
Of
And
course,
you also
it
have
has
a
to be.
VFX company, right?
Yeah.
And so you must have employed your own company to do the VFX, did you?
Yeah, it's a whole team. We all work together.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my passion also.
Yeah.
So it was a very tough film to shoot, and that's what I was saying. That's why I wanted to keep it very, very real. I wanted that feel of claustrophobia. So if the cockpit size is real, it is real. I did not make it like a set that ये हटा दिया और फिर कैमरा यहाँ आ गया. So in that close space, जो create कर सकते थे हमने उसमें create.
Who's the DOP? Asim?
Asim Bajaj.
Oh, you look very nice as a couple on screen. The last film De De Pyar De, the song of which I told you last time also, Dil Roi Jaye, Roi
Dil Roi Jaye,
Such a
this is
beautiful
one of our favorite songs she mentioned.
You were great together in that film. You
Thank you.
have another film lined up together.
Thank God.
Thank God. And this, Runway. How has your working relationship evolved over these years?
Actually, in Thank God, we don't have common scenes.
Okay.
But of course, this experience and that experience of De De Pyar De was very different because the genres are completely different, and the way you were on set is also very different. This required us to just, Runway was just very concentrate on the shot. You're in that mode, you know. Sir was in multiple he was a director, he was an actor, so it was very different from the experience in De De Pyar De. But yeah, I think from day one Sir is somebody who makes it he's very accessible and makes it very easy for the other person. I remember the first day in De De I was a little nervous because I was going to meet Ajay Sir, you know. I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but he's just a very comfortable person.
The first time that you shared a screen, you shared screen with Mr. Bachchan was in Hindustan Ki Kasam.
हिंदुस्तान की कसम और मेजर साहब, I don't remember which one. दोनों फिल्मों के साथ में ही शूटिंग हो रही थी यहाँ, ऐसा कुछ था.
और अब ज़ाहिर है you were directing him, but I want to know the first scene where you directed him. What was the scene like? Tell me a thing that I look forward to while watching the film.
Courtroom only.
Courtroom.
Yeah.
तो हाँ, courtroom का जो scene था वो पहला scene था. We started with actually the main drama.
Yeah.
And he came completely prepared with that drama. तो मतलब कि 6-7 दिन की जो shooting थी, वो 6-7 दिन के जितने डायलॉग थे वो उनको याद थे
21 पेज थे सर डायलॉग,
सब याद थे और वो एकदम तैयारी के साथ. वो हमेशा ऐसे ही करते हैं वो. ही इज ऑलवेज प्रिपेयर्ड एंड वो जब सेट पे आते हैं एंड ही इज अ डायरेक्टर्स एक्टर. देन ही सेज कैसे करूं, क्या करना है बताओ, आप एक बार उनको बता दो कि आप क्या देख रहे हैं. उसके बाद वो जो उसको छोड़ते ही नहीं बिल्कुल. तो आई थिंक ही इज.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
We're heading for a short break. After the break, we have Ayushmann Khurrana, who is one of the rare actors who also has a Best Playback Singer Filmfare Award to his credit for his song Pani Da Rang Dekh Ke. Of course, you love that song. Ayushmann Khurrana coming up right after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. Now, exactly 10 years ago, on April 20th, 2012, Ayushmann Khurrana made his Bollywood debut with the quirky comedy Vicky Dona. Since then, the talented actor is on a roll. My colleague Vishal Chatkara caught up with Ayushmann Khurrana recently and spoke to him about his evolution as an actor, becoming the face of the middle-of-the-road cinema, and the one thing that he will never do in his films. It's a CNN News 18 exclusive.
Ayushmann, congratulations for completing 10 years at the movies. Exactly 10 years ago, on April 20th, 2012, your movie Vicky Donor opened to packed houses. How do you look back at these 10 years, Ayushmann?
It's been a beautiful and a very fruitful journey. It's very surreal that I've completed 10 years. It seems like yesterday. and I still feel I'm still beginning and still evolving and still learning. So it's been a roller coaster of a ride because I've seen everything in these 10 years, success, failure, success again, and learned a lot.
If you look back at Vicky Donor, were you at all nervous while playing Vicky Arora because it was your debut film? And what part of your personality you kept for yourself while portraying that character?
Most of the people think that I'm from Delhi, but I'm not. I'm from Chandigarh. But of course, my maternal side is from Delhi, so during summer vacations we were there. So I've been around these kind of people. I'm not really Vicky Arora or Vicky Donor or or Nakul of Badhai Ho, because I'm not that person. I'm probably more well-rounded as a person. But having said that, I've grown around these kind of people, and it could be my Punjabi nature which came to the forefront in Vicky Arora, and also the middle class upbringing.
We often hear actor talking about their comfort zone. Do you know what is your comfort zone?
I've mostly done middle of the road cinema, and my comfort zone could be real middle class heartland zone. That's my comfort zone, yes. But in that zone, how different subjects could be portrayed, I think that's the challenge.
So then which type of role you say will the one which will push Ayushmann Khurrana out of his comfort zone?
I think a typical commercial masala film will probably be out of comfort, and I would love to do it at the same time because I've been a huge fan of commercial masala films, and waiting for that. But again, it has to be different. Again, not a typical storyline in the realm of masala cinema. I think I would find some quirk or novelty.
I have many questions about your movies, but before that, I really want to know, be it Vicky of Vicky Donor, Mudit of Shubh Mangal Savdhan, Nakul of Badhai Ho, or Mohit of Bewakoofiya, they all came from Delhi, but yet the worlds were different. What do you think, who will win an argument tomorrow of these four assemble at a place in Delhi?
I think both Vicky and Nakul, because they both were alpha. Mudit and Mohit, they were probably more malleable and more docile or subtle as characters, but Vicky or Vicky Donor and Nakul of Badhai Ho, I think these two characters were alpha males. That's why probably there's been an argument.
Ayushmann, do you remember what was it like experiencing the stardom post the release of Vicky Donor, and what get you going through that sort of a rough patch between 2012 and 2015 when movies like Nautanki Sala, Hawai Zada and Bewakoofiya underperformed at the box office?
Immediately after Vicky Donor, I was not ready for that stardom at all. I was not expecting that kind of success for Vicky Donor. I thought it would be a critical acclaim film with a certain box office number, but I think it became super successful commercially as well, which was a huge surprise, and the kind of attention I was getting, I was overwhelmed. I was not prepared for that. I made choices which were probably not reaching the benchmark of Vicky Donor, but at the same time I was not getting anything. Like, the industry didn't know what to do with me because Vicky Donor, the script was an anomaly. You don't get such kind of scripts. Yeah. So I was just waiting, doing just one film a year because I was not getting those kind of films. So I made mistakes. I will not call them mistakes. I will call them like learnings, and I'm glad Dum Laga Ke Haisha happened.
Talking about Dum Laga Ke Haisha, that was really the next milestone in your film journey. How much into the making of that movie you realized that, okay, this is going to be a game changer for you?
I think it was at script level. When I read the script, I could not put the script down. It was that film which I was really sure that it will work, because it was, yes, it was a small film, but it had a lot of heart. For me, it was, I think, a huge film. So it just changed everything, and I was waiting for this film immediately after Vicky Donor, but I was not getting this kind of film. So I'm glad the script writers, they discovered something in them and they started writing films like Dum Laga Ke Haisha and Badhai Ho and Andhadhun and stuff like that.
You of course have teamed up twice with Sujit Sarkar and Anubhav Sinha. With Anubhav, of course, you're making Anek. How do you define a perfect creative match between an actor and a director?
Most important thing is that you should be one with the director in terms of the thought process, because sometimes you are imagining something else and the director has a different vision. So it needs to be at the same plane, and with respect to the script, for example, if you have the same worldview, nothing like it, and if you are also have same value system, or maybe if you the kind of films that you're making, and if you resonate with the plot or the milieu or the circumstance or the situation, I think it plays really well between these two, because it's a teamwork, and I'm a director's actor, and I would love to collaborate with the directors who are visionaries or who have seen life from a different perspective and who are clutter breakers. So I'm glad that I've gotten that opportunity.
And what type of conversation generally you have with your director? What type of whys you ask to your director?
It all happens at the script level. I don't indulge in any kind of conflict while we are filming. So it has to happen while the narration is going on, or when I say yes to the script. It could be anything, like smallest thing from like what am I going to wear, to like bigger perspective that what kind of statement it will make in the society, or what kind of change it will bring. So it varies from top to bottom.
You know, you of course have a very pleasing personality and a very, very good smile. Did you ask Sujit Sarkar while filming Kulabo Sitabo why your character was not allowed to smile, or even in other films? Do you ask this to your directors?
I smiled a lot in Vicky Donor, yes, but Kulabo Sitabo, it was meant to be a despicable character, and I was dying to work with Shujit Da again, and also Mr. Bachchan, because you don't get these opportunities very often, so it was like a dream come true for me.
Looking back, do you remember a moment where you for the first time felt like if I put a little extra effort, the outcome would be better than what director has conceived?
I don't know, you can't really think about certain things, because when you are on set, director expects something else and probably you'll give him something else, and you come on the same plane or that congruent area, you reach that space, because I'm a kind of an actor who doesn't really think about everything. Like, well, if I'm reading a script and conceiving a scene, and I won't think about how my hand will go, I'll walk towards that side, I will not block. Like, I don't do blocking while I'm reading my lines. So I'll go on set and then discover different props and work accordingly, or probably discover the other actor. More than acting, I'll react. So I would love to surprise my director.
What is that one thing that you will never do in a movie? Maybe because it's against your ethics, or it takes you to a place that you never want to visit.
I would not glorify anything which is toxic. I will not glorify the negativities of the society. The messaging has to be correct. Even if I have to play somebody who's negative, I will be shown as a negative person. It has happened in the past with Chandir Kare Aashiki. I was against trans people in the film in the first half, and then there is this transition. So I was not glorified. I was shown कि ये गलत है. I think वो मैं कभी नहीं करूँगा कि जहाँ पर glorify करना पड़े. like हीरो को दिखाना ज़रूरी नहीं है. हीरो अगर गलत है उसे गलत दिखाना ज़रूरी है.
Ayushmann Khurrana, thank you so much and best of luck, and looking forward to many more surprises from you.
Thank you, Vishal.
Ayushmann Khurrana is certainly one of those rare actors who has invented a genre for himself. From Bala, Dream Girl, Badhai Ho, Andhadhun to Chandigarh Kare Aashiki. Anyway, सब अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, सब ऊंचा सोच रहे हैं. Well, for us here, we call it a wrap. I'm Atika Farooqui saying goodbye, but only for a week. We meet again soon. Ciao.